Hey there, welcome to the Art of Life podcast, a podcast where you learn how to heal your life every week with just really simple, practical steps that you can apply at any time and anywhere. Okay, so let's get started. Today we are talking about forgiveness. So let's start first with what forgiveness means. I often think of forgiveness as, well, sort of like taking a walk in life. And when you're walking in life, just like as you're walking maybe routinely in your everyday life, there are moments where you get stones in your shoes. Sometimes they can be small stones, sometimes they can be bigger stones. And forgiveness is just cleaning up that space. It's just cleaning up that shoe. So, what forgiveness is not about the other person or the circumstance. It literally is that as you're walking, you get some stones. There's some experiences that you have, you don't like them. That's what I'm calling the stone. And the stones just occupy space in your shoe. Something happened, whether you had control over it or whether you did not have control over it, but it left a little stone in there or a big one in your shoe. And then forgiveness is, okay, just taking that stone out and having it out of your space. Now, what does that mean? So sometimes forgiveness could be related to myself. So I might be holding myself back from something. Let's say I feel I did something wrong. Personally, I know for me, one of the hardest things was to accept my daughter's death. I held guilt for a really, really long time because I was asleep while she was passing away. I was pregnant with her. And I just felt myself accountable because how can a mom do that? How can a good mom be sleeping? What sort of mother was I? All those sorts of things. Guilt of other things that we hold, shame, or sometimes just blame with ourselves can be other things as well. And then there's blame around, how come I didn't see it? How come I didn't understand it? How come I didn't see the signs? So there's a whole lot of self-guilt, self-blame that we can hold on to ourselves. And in reality, all that they are is just small stones or big stones. We were having a walk in life. Our purpose here on earth is to have a life experience. We all, as beautiful souls, came on earth to have an experience. Part of that meant having these difficult situations and learning from them and evolving from them. So the best way forward then would be not to really own the stones, not to really hold on to it, because the guilt or the blame isn't doing really any justice to me. It's not helping me out. Of course, if I had known my thing with my daughter would have been different. If I had any awareness, I would not have been sleeping. It was not a choice. And other places as well where I feel like, oh my God, I made that mistake again. Yes, if I had learned it, I would have probably done something better. But you know what? I did not learn my lesson by then. So just go back to your school. There were a lot of times where you got a concept that your teacher was telling you and you just got it the first time. Then there are other concepts that just take you time, and that's okay. You don't have to really hold yourself to it. Similarly, even with our life experiences, we don't really have to hold ourselves with the blame. Yes, something happened. There was a younger version of me. This is now a better version of me. a little bit more experienced version that knows a little bit better. I will probably still make mistakes. Oh no, I'm 100% sure I will still make mistakes. And that's absolutely okay. Because you know what? That's my role as a soul on this life. That's what I came to do. I came to earth to have a walk. I came to earth to have these life experiences. I came to earth to grow and evolve and to have experiences where I grow and I learn. So it's just a matter of my self talk with myself and going, well, it's okay. Maybe I don't have to keep the stones that are really hurting me. Now, then there's another type of blame or guilt that we can hold, and that's not related to us, that's related to somebody else. Maybe there's a circumstance that we hold ourselves a little bit guilty for, or we just hold that for someone else. So maybe there was like a traffic accident, whether or not it was caused by us, or just like, oh, why did I let that person go? Why did this accident happen? Why didn't I do something about it? Just that. And that's when forgiveness is really hard as well, because some of these emotions can be really charged. Some of these experiences can be really charged. But perhaps what works best in this is just stepping back, possibly from the situation, removing yourself from the situation as best as possible, and going, okay, what is the bigger purpose here? I'm the soul on earth. I'm having a walk in life. I'm having this experience. Perhaps what was the purpose here? And try and focus your thinking, if possible, more from a point of view of what is it that as a soul you need to learn. The more you can detach in a way from your own experience and look at it as if you're watching yourself in a movie, the more it helps. The more you can go, well, why did I have this experience? Why did this person do this to me? And it's not as much from a victim mindset that you're trying to find it out. Of course, we all tend to go there. But if you can step out from that victim mindset and look like, well, what is this person trying to really teach me? Maybe you really hate the person. Maybe the person was absolutely mean to you and did some really nasty things that nobody should have to go through. Correct. But I'm not saying give a high ground to that person. What I'm saying is think, why as a soul, why did you call that experience? Why did that experience manifest in your life? Now, I personally know that I lost my daughter, and as much as, yes, I hold myself guilty, or now I don't, the circumstance itself felt really mean, and I didn't feel I deserved it. I do feel at some place that I am a good mom, capable of being a really good mom, and I would have loved and adored my daughter. It felt unfair, but as much as I say that, the other side of the story also is that there's a bigger purpose to why all of that happened. Now, my life wasn't really going in a very good trajectory. I wasn't in the best happy place. I was really depressed in life and just living a life, not really living, very, very sad, was almost dead inside when I lost my daughter. And as I continued to do the meditation work, I realized that she was really a gift in a way, because she came to show me how I needed to shake my life up and just stand up. It was just a different message. So instead of viewing that as, oh my God, that's such an unfortunate incident, I have started looking at it as a moment of grace. Definitely, it's not something that I wish for anyone, that they lose their child. But personally, for me, the lesson has been that life's actually a lot more beautiful. And there's a lot that I learned from the experience. Not just this, it was just around trying to let go of control as well. You know, there was definitely a part of me that wanted to control how life would be for her. But it was just accepting that life is what it is, and I just have my duty to live in life or just have the experiences. I would urge you to look at your own unique situations in that similar sense as well. Why did a situation, why did a person come in your life? What was the higher purpose? It doesn't mean about that person, but just means about you as a soul. What was the higher reason for that person entering your life? Even if you had the most traumatic experience, I empathize with you. I totally do. And that's why I urge you to look at why that happened. Why What is the strength that you get out from that experience? Why did that happen? So there was a very beautiful movie that I watched called Letting Go a long time ago. This was about a guy who lost all of his family, just had one, I think two kids living afterwards. And the movie's called Letting Go. There's another teenager who's almost drunk driving, and that leads to all of this. And in the end, this teacher, he forgives that person. And when he was asked, why did he do that? And he said, well, initially I used to ask why. Why did this happen to me? Why did, my family die? Why did I lose my wife? Why did I lose my daughter? He said, well, I would think that. And then one day I switched the question around, and the question more became, well, why not me? He was a teacher. He was teaching people how to be compassionate. So he started saying, well, why not me? Because I was the perfect person to be able to go, well, I can forgive. I can let this child know, the teenage person who killed his family members by drunk driving. He said, I can let him know that it's okay. And it wasn't about the person, but it was just that, well, it's an experience and I can let go and it's fine. When we try and hold on to something, there's an essence of us where we are sort of trying to go, well, I've got to control this. But there's another sense where another higher power, perhaps, where what happens to each one of us in our lives, there's sometimes called as destiny. I tend to think of it as life purpose. So, life purpose would be what you've come on this earth to do. For example, for my daughter, Ayana, her life purpose was to just come into life, live that little short period, just 31 weeks as I was pregnant and in my womb, just give me that motherhood experience and experience life that way and then come out of it. For someone else, you don't know what their previous life is about. So maybe if there's a child who's born sick, maybe the experience is around, well, seeing life that way, knowing what it feels like to not be fully capable in the body and experiencing that love. Maybe as parents, the purpose was, or you are the chosen one because you are the perfect parents to give that child that love and that opportunity to grow them, to nourish them, to give them compassion. I would really urge you to think about your life from that perspective, if you can possibly switch it around from a victim feeling, like why is it happening to me, but just switching it to, well, why not me? What is, as a soul, what is it you really needed to do? And sometimes it's heartbreaking, it's gut wrenching. I hear you, I understand you totally. But I wanted to give power to you in just being that light and being able to go, okay, this is why, or this is the strength that I'm getting. And as hard as it is, I'm the chosen one for this. So I hope that leaves you with some thoughts to deal with situations when forgiveness is really hard. Now, why forgiveness is important and how does it help you? I wanted to come back to that, circle back to that. So, in the beginning of this podcast, I was talking around stones, and as we walk in life, we get little stones and we get big stones in our shoes. Forgiveness is basically around cleaning that space. It's just around cleaning the shoes. It's around living the human experience, but just enjoying it, being light, and just think of everything coming into your space as stones. You don't have to internalize it. You don't have to take the stone inside. You don't have to have it in your body. You don't really even have to carry it around in your shoes for a long time. You can just take it out right then and there. It doesn't matter who it came from. It doesn't matter what it is, how big it is. You came on this journey to evolve, to have a human experience. For whatever reason, when you were choosing your life on earth, you chose this life. The basic dynamics of it you chose, and you said, well, I want to have this experience. Sometimes it was that pain experience that you chose because you wanted to evolve as a soul that way. So gratitude to yourself and power to you for enduring all of those experiences so beautifully. Your idea of evolution is to travel as a light soul in this earth, as a soul that gives out light, as a soul that feels light. So let go of the stones that you feel on the way. Your karma, your real purpose in life is to do the things that you want to do, and whatever that's coming up in between, just letting that go and just being a little bit in the balcony with it, as opposed to in the dance floor where all the emotion is happening. Just stepping up and going, well, that's okay, I don't want that stone anymore. I salute that spirit in you and that growth, that empowerment to you, because that's the evolution of the true you. That's the evolution of your inner light, your highest potential. And I wish you nothing but just that. So when you feel something's coming up in life, when you feel that things are hard, how can you forgive? There are a couple of different ways. I'll link a few different articles in the show notes, but otherwise just go to artoflifecenter.com/forgiveness and you'll find a whole lot of meditation exercises or even non-meditation exercises that you can do every day to forgive. I'll just share one quick one here. Let's say you're feeling hard about something. Actually, let me do two. So one, because I've already talked about all of this as stones. So let's say there's something that you really, really want to forgive. Actually, imagine it as a stone. Like imagine maybe the person as a stone, the circumstance as a stone, and take that stone and either throw it away. If you want to throw it away out from your space, and just imagine doing that again and again and again. Give that power to yourself. You could even just physically take a stone. Think of it in the sense that, this is what I'm doing. This is what the stone represents to me. And you can throw it away in a river or something and see if that lets go. Every one little bit that you do counts. So just keep doing it. Keep going ahead. You can visualize it as a stone. and just let it go away from your space. The other thing you could do, if there's a circumstance that you want to think, just similar tone, but you could imagine you've got a balloon and the balloon fills up with all of that energy that you want to let go around some things. Maybe there's somebody that you're really angry with. Imagine all of that in a balloon and then just let it go high up in the air. Blow it up if you wanted to, but just let it go away from you. I give you ultimate power so that you can be the pure and the divine light that you're supposed to be. If you are interested, I'm also launching a life makeover program. Forgiveness is one part of it. And so is so many other things. In the Life Makeover program, we do art therapy meditations. They're really art based, so you play with art, and small visualization meditations. They're all playful, fun, and every hour of art therapy helps you deal with some aspect in your life. Sometimes you'll learn to forgive. Sometimes you will learn how to heal your past. Sometimes you will learn how to deal with traumas, how to connect with your body, and how to let go of some body aches and pains. And you will also learn to manifest and so on. It's an amazing program. I definitely urge you to check it out. If you get time, please leave a review for the Art of Life Center. Definitely helps me understand where you're at, what are your questions, what makes you really listen to the show, and that prompts me for other things and other stuff that I can share on the podcast as well. So kudos to you. Keep shining and be the beautiful light that you are. I will see you next time, next week. Take care.